Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a loop, where every attempt to move forward ends in failure? Are you exhausted from giving your all, only to see the same results time and time again? What if I told you that today could be the day everything changes? That your failures, instead of holding you back, are the very things that could propel you to the success you've always dreamed of? This isn't just another pep talk. It's a call to action, one that could forever change the way you see failure. If you're ready to challenge yourself and break free from the cycle, then stick with me, because today marks the beginning of something powerful. Failure isn't the end. It's only the beginning. Too often we see failure as the ultimate setback, a dead end that stops our progress in its tracks. But I want to challenge that belief right now. What if failure wasn't something to fear, but rather a stepping stone to the success you seek? We all experience it, the missed opportunities, the mistakes, the times when things don't go as planned. But let me ask you this, what if those very failures were the key to unlocking your greatest growth? Imagine if you could look at every setback as an opportunity for a fresh start, a chance to learn, grow, and come back stronger. That's the power of failure. It's not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Now, I know that fear often holds us back from embracing failure. We've all been there, nervous about what might happen if things don't go our way. But I want you to understand something important. That fear is a trap. It's like a cage, keeping you from tapping into your full potential. When we fear failure, we hold ourselves back from trying, from learning, from growing. We convince ourselves that avoiding failure is the best way forward. But in reality, that fear is stopping you from becoming the person you were meant to be. So I challenge you today to let go of that fear. Step into the unknown and trust that the only real failure is the failure to try. Here's the truth. Success isn't built on perfection. It's built on progress. It's built on learning from the times you fall, the times you miss the mark, and getting back up with more knowledge, more strength, and more resilience than before. Every successful person you admire, every breakthrough that's ever been achieved, was built on the foundation of failure. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're not learning enough. You're not growing enough. So the next time you face failure, don't see it as something to be ashamed of. See it as feedback. It's your guide, your teacher, showing you what works and what doesn't. It's your opportunity to adjust, adapt, and come back stronger. Let me tell you something. Failure doesn't define you unless you let it. Every failure is a lesson in disguise, a lesson that gives you the tools to succeed. Tony Robbins says that failure is simply the feedback you need to adjust your strategy. When you start seeing failure as feedback, your whole perspective changes. You stop viewing it as a roadblock and start seeing it as a redirection, as a learning experience that's preparing you for something bigger, something better. I want to take a moment to remind you that your success is not a matter of luck or timing. It's a result of your decisions and your mindset. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding failure. They got there by embracing it. They took the lessons from their setbacks, adjusted their strategies, and kept moving forward with more confidence and clarity. Failure is not a dead end. It's a detour to something greater. Now let's talk about how you can turn failure into your greatest asset. The first step is to change your perception of failure. Instead of seeing it as the end, start seeing it as a beginning. Failure is the spark that ignites change. It's the moment when you realize you're not where you want to be, and you get hungry to do better, to be better. The moment you change your mindset, you take back control of your future. Once you've changed your perception, you must recognize and rewire any limiting beliefs that are holding you back. These beliefs, these negative thoughts about yourself and what you're capable of, can trap you in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. But here's the truth. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not deserving of success, then you're going to stay stuck. But if you can shift those beliefs to ones that empower you, you'll begin to see yourself differently. You'll start taking the actions that lead to success. The next step is mastering your emotions. Emotions are powerful. They can either fuel your success or drag you down. When you master your emotions, you take control of your destiny. Tony Robbins talks about emotional mastery being a key to success. When you learn to control your emotional state, you can push through the hardest challenges without losing focus. Your emotions won't control you. You'll control them. And when that happens, your progress accelerates. Of course, none of this will matter if you don't take massive, consistent action. Action is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Without action, everything else is just a dream. But with action, failure becomes a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you learn, you grow. And every time you grow, you get closer to your goal. As you move forward, remember this: success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it. The best part of failure is that it's not permanent. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's an opportunity to adapt, to change, and to improve. Each failure gets you closer to where you want to be. So embrace it, use it, and keep going. In the end, success isn't a straight path. It's a journey full of twists, turns, and detours. But if you can learn to embrace failure, to see it as part of the process, you'll get there. You'll reach the place you've always dreamed of, and you'll look back at the failures that got you there with gratitude. Because without them, you wouldn't be who you are today. So go ahead, fail and fail again. Each time you're one step closer to success. Failure is not defeat, it's feedback. Let that sink in for a moment. Every time you fall short, every time you miss the mark, it's not the end, it's an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. Too often we view failure as something to avoid at all costs. But what if failure is exactly what you need to succeed? Think about it. High achievers like Tony Robbins don't fear failure. They embrace it because they understand that failure is a powerful tool for growth. Failure isn't a sign that you aren't good enough. It's a reflection of where you are now and what needs to change for you to move forward. Failure is like a mirror, showing you the areas in your life that need attention. Without it, how can you know where you need to improve? The next time you fail, don't see it as a setback. See it as the feedback you need to adjust your approach and get closer to your goal. Now, let's talk about the fear of failure. Why does it grip us so tightly? Why does it paralyze us from taking action? The fear of failure is one of the biggest roadblocks on the path to success. Psychologically, we're wired to avoid pain and seek comfort. But here's the truth, that fear you're carrying, it's just an illusion. Your fear of failure is like a cage. The door is wide open and you're holding the key, but you keep yourself locked inside. Why? Because you're afraid of what might happen if you fail. The real danger is not failure itself, but the fear of it that keeps you from trying in the first place. If you want to break free, you have to stop letting fear control you. You have the power to overcome it, but only if you choose to face it. Challenge that fear, walk through it, and when you do, you'll realize just how much stronger you've become. Let's explore how failure can fuel your growth. Growth only comes when you step out of your comfort zone, when you push beyond your limits, and yes, when you fail. Success can feel good, but it can also breed complacency. When you succeed without struggle, there's a temptation to stop pushing for more. But failure challenges you to evolve. It forces you to reassess, reevaluate, and change your approach. Think about it. How can you succeed if you're not willing to fail? The truth is, the more you fail, the more you learn, and the faster you grow. Failure teaches you valuable lessons you can't get from success alone. It stretches you, molds you, and transforms you into someone who's capable of achieving what once seemed impossible. So embrace failure as a necessary part of the journey. Don't shy away from it. Use it as a stepping stone, because without it, you cannot reach the heights you're capable of. Let me tell you something, failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. Tony Robbins teaches us that failure is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Failure is a tool, not a defeat. When you change the way you see failure, it becomes a powerful force that propels you forward. You need to reframe failure in your mind. Instead of seeing it as a setback, view it as a stepping stone on the path to success. Every time you fail, it's an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to grow. If you're not learning from your failures, then you're not growing. Ask yourself, how will you learn to fly if you're afraid to jump? Every successful person you admire has failed countless times. They didn't let failure stop them. They used it as feedback. Imagine if Thomas Edison had stopped after the first 1,000 failed attempts to invent the light bulb. We wouldn't be here today. Reframe your failures. See them for what they truly are. Lessons that guide you toward your goal. Embrace them, learn from them, and let them propel you forward. Your beliefs are the lens through which you see the world. They shape your actions, your decisions, and your results. Tony Robbins says, the quality of your life is the quality of your beliefs. The problem is that many of us are carrying around limiting beliefs, beliefs that tell us we can't succeed, that failure is fatal, that we're not good enough. These beliefs hold us back. They trap us in cycles of self-doubt and fear. But here's the thing, if you don't challenge those beliefs, they will control your life. Think about it, when you believe you can't bounce back from failure, you'll never try. But when you change your belief, you change your actions. Reframe those limiting beliefs. Start believing that you are capable, that failure is not a wall but a door to new opportunities. When you adopt empowering beliefs, you open yourself up to new possibilities, to new growth. It's time to break through the limitations you've imposed on yourself. Start asking, what if I'm stronger than I think? What if failure is just a stepping stone to something greater? Once you change your beliefs, you change your life. Here's a powerful truth. Emotions are the fuel to your actions. If you can master your emotions, you can master your destiny. Tony Robbins talks about state management, how your emotional state directly influences your actions. When you're feeling down, frustrated, or defeated, it's hard to take action. But when you're in an empowered state, nothing can stop you. You need to learn how to quickly shift your emotional state. When failure hits, don't let it control you. Instead, take control of your emotions. You can choose how to respond. Emotions are a powerful tool if you know how to use them. When you feel discouraged, use that emotion to fuel your comeback. When you feel overwhelmed, transform that energy into focused action. Start practicing techniques like deep breathing, positive affirmations, or visualization. These are tools you can use in real time to get back into a powerful emotional state. Remember, you have the power to change your emotions at any moment. The more you practice, the better you'll get at using emotions to drive your success. Success is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about taking massive action. Tony Robbins teaches us that the key to turning failure into success is relentless action. Action is the bridge between failure and success. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. The fear of failure can hold you back, but here's the secret: you need to fail forward. What does that mean? It means that every failure is a lesson. Every mistake is feedback that brings you closer to your goal. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Take action now. When you do, failure becomes a lesson, not a setback. If you want to succeed, you must act with urgency. Don't wait for the perfect time or the perfect conditions. The time to act is now. Every action you take is a step forward. So take bold steps, fail forward, keep moving. Success is not a one-time event. It's a constant process of adaptation. Tony Robbins often says that after each failure, you must refine your approach. You don't stop just because things didn't go as planned. Instead, you adapt. Success is like sculpting a masterpiece. You keep chipping away at the rough edges until the final form appears.
Every time you fail, ask yourself, what can I do better next time? How can I adapt my approach? The key to long-term success is persistence and flexibility. You have to be willing to adjust, to try new strategies, and to keep refining your methods until you find what works. Don't get discouraged when things don't work out immediately. Use those failures as a guide for continuous improvement. It's a process. You keep refining, adapting, and improving until you achieve what you want. Success is not a destination, it's a journey of constant growth. Failure doesn't define you, it's a reflection of your effort and your approach. Tony Robbins says, the only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. When you fail, it doesn't mean you're not capable, it means you've learned what doesn't work. Now it's time to use that knowledge as fuel. Failure is energy. It's raw material that you can use to power your future success. Instead of letting it bring you down, let it light a fire inside you. Let it fuel your determination to keep going, to push harder, to grow stronger. When you fail, use that emotion to fuel your drive. Channel your setbacks into a burning desire to succeed. The most successful people in the world didn't let failure defeat them. They used it to fuel their passion, to keep moving and to achieve even greater things. Turn your failures into stepping stones. Let them be the fuel that propels you to even greater heights. When you do this, you'll realize that failure is not the enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, you just can't seem to break free from where you are? Like you're stuck in a cycle that you can't escape, no matter how hard you try. Or maybe you're overwhelmed by the constant noise of self-doubt, feeling like success is just out of reach. Today is the day that all changes. In the next few minutes, I'm going to guide you through a powerful shift in how you see the world and how you see yourself. This isn't about quick fixes or empty promises. This is about real, lasting change. We're going to dive deep into the mindset shifts that will propel you towards success. If you're ready to break free from limitations and unlock your true potential, stay with me. What you hear today will transform how you think, act, and ultimately succeed. The first thing you need to understand is this: your mindset is everything. Tony Robbins says, the only limit to your impact is your imagination and commitment. But what does that really mean? It means that how you see the world, how you view challenges, setbacks, and even failure has the power to shape your destiny. A fixed mindset sees challenges as obstacles, while a growth mindset sees them as opportunities. Let me explain the difference. A fixed mindset believes that your abilities, intelligence, and talents are set in stone. If you fail, it means you're not good enough and you'll never be able to change. You think you're either born with it or you're not. A growth mindset, on the other hand, sees failure as just a part of the process. It says, this didn't work, let me try again, learn from it, and improve. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world. Think about it. If you're looking through the lens of a fixed mindset, every challenge looks like a roadblock. But if you switch that lens to a growth mindset, every challenge becomes a stepping stone, a chance to grow, learn, and become better. Do you know what this means for you? It means that no matter where you start, you have the potential to become more than you ever imagined. It means that failure isn't something to fear, but something to learn from.
If you can shift to a growth mindset, you'll unlock unlimited potential. Challenges will no longer be things that stop you. They will be things that push you forward. I want to challenge you right now. Start viewing obstacles as opportunities. When things don't go according to plan, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? The more you practice this, the more it will become a habit. And before you know it, you'll be thriving on challenges instead of shrinking away from them. Now let's talk about something that often stands between us and success: self-belief. Without belief in yourself, nothing else matters. Tony Robbins puts it simply, if you believe you can, you will. It's that powerful. But here's the truth. You're not always going to feel confident. You're not always going to feel capable. That's normal. What's important is what you do with those feelings. Believing in yourself isn't about being cocky or thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing deep down that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's about looking at challenges not with fear, but with the understanding that you have the strength to overcome them. So how do you build that belief, especially when you face failure? The first step is to start with small wins. Don't wait for the big life-changing moment to feel proud of yourself. Celebrate the small victories. Every step forward is a victory. And the more you build on those wins, the stronger your belief in yourself becomes. Next, use visualization. Before you go into any challenging situation, picture yourself succeeding. See yourself overcoming obstacles. Hear the words of encouragement you'll give yourself when things get tough. Visualization helps you to train your mind to focus on success rather than failure. Affirmations are another tool you can use to strengthen your belief. Every day, tell yourself that you are capable. Remind yourself that failure doesn't define you, it's just part of the process. Speak your success into existence. Words are powerful, and don't forget about your environment. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Find those who encourage you, not tear you down. Your environment shapes your beliefs. When you're constantly around people who are pushing you to grow, you'll begin to believe in your own potential too. Here's the big question I want you to ask yourself. What's more powerful? Your belief in failure or your belief in yourself? Let that question sit with you for a moment. The answer to that question will determine the direction of your life. Your belief in yourself can carry you through anything. Take control of your self-talk. When that voice inside your head says you can't do this, tell it, I can. And don't just tell yourself you can, show yourself. Every day, do something that challenges you. Do something that pushes your boundaries. The more you show yourself that you are capable, the stronger your belief will become. Remember, belief is the foundation of everything. Without it, you won't take the steps needed to succeed. But with it, you'll push through every obstacle, bounce back from every failure, and keep going no matter how many times you fall. So start today. Take action. Speak your belief into existence. And when you stumble, as you inevitably will, don't let it shake your belief. Use it as fuel to prove to yourself that you're capable of overcoming whatever comes your way. You've got this. The only thing standing between you and success is the belief that you can achieve it. And once you believe in yourself, there's nothing that can stop you. Have you ever felt like the weight of the world is on your shoulders? Like no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to go your way. Maybe you've faced setback after setback, and it feels like success is always just out of reach. Let me tell you something. You are not alone. Everyone who has ever achieved anything worthwhile has faced obstacles. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't in how many times they fall, it's in how many times they get back up. Today I'm going to share with you stories, real-life examples, and powerful lessons that show you exactly how to turn your failures into stepping stones for success. This isn't some fairy tale. It's the truth. Failure is not the end. It's just the beginning of something greater. What you're about to hear will challenge you, inspire you, and give you the tools you need to push through any adversity. You've got this, and by the end of this speech you'll understand exactly how to turn your own obstacles into fuel for your success. Let me tell you a story. Imagine a man who started with nothing but a dream. His name is Tony Robbins. Like many successful people, Tony faced rejection, hardship, and numerous failures on his journey to success. Early in his life, he struggled with poverty and faced challenges that many of us can't even imagine. But instead of letting those challenges define him, he used them as fuel to rise above them. And he's not alone. Stories of resilience are all around us. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who was told she was unfit for television. Think about Michael Jordan, who was cut from his high school basketball team. Think about J.K. Rowling, who was rejected by countless publishers before Harry Potter became a worldwide phenomenon. These are people who face setbacks, but the difference between them and others who failed was simple. They never gave up. They used each failure as a lesson. They understood that success is never a straight path. It's full of bumps, turns, and detours. But the key to overcoming any obstacle is to keep moving forward. The difference between winners and losers isn't how many times they fall, it's how many times they rise. Every time they fell, they got back up. Every time they faced a challenge, they found a way to keep pushing. What would happen if you kept going even when it feels like you're at the end? What would happen if you pushed through that last bit of resistance when you're exhausted, frustrated, and ready to quit? Let me tell you something. The most successful people in the world didn't make it because they avoided failure. They made it because they learned how to rise from it. Now let's talk about failure. We all know it's uncomfortable. It stings. It can make you question everything. But here's the truth. Failure is a necessary ingredient in the recipe for success. I'll be honest with you, I've had my fair share of failures. I've faced moments where I thought I was done. I've had times when I thought success was too far out of reach. But let me tell you, those failures were the best lessons I've ever had. There was a time when I was building something, pouring my heart and soul into it. But instead of success, I saw it all fall apart. It felt like everything I had worked for was slipping through my fingers. At that moment, I could have quit. I could have told myself that maybe I wasn't cut out for this. But instead, I chose to learn. I chose to pick myself up and look at my mistakes. And those lessons I learned were exactly what I needed to fuel my next move forward. You see, failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Each failure is an opportunity to refine your approach, learn a valuable lesson, and get better. Every mistake you make is a building block for the future. Reflect on your own past failures. I know they hurt, and I know it's easy to look back with regret. But what if you saw those moments differently? What if you saw them as lessons instead of losses? What if you realized that everything you've been through is not a sign of defeat, but a sign of growth? Your failure today is the foundation for your success tomorrow. It's the experience you need to move to the next level. Don't run from it. Embrace it. Learn from it. And when you get back up, you'll do so with more wisdom, strength, and resilience than ever before. What can you learn from your past mistakes to propel yourself forward? That's the real question. Instead of fearing failure, look at it as the best opportunity for growth. Every single failure you face has the potential to take you closer to where you want to be. If you choose to learn from it, you are stronger than you think. And the sooner you stop fearing failure and start embracing it as part of the process, the sooner you'll see that success isn't just a destination. It's the result of everything you've learned and overcome along the way. So take that first step, fail forward, rise up, and watch how your failures turn into the most powerful force you've ever known. Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle? Like you're waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, or the right set of circumstances to make a move? Let me tell you something. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of hesitation. The perfect moment is now, right here, right now. You've got the power to change the course of your life today, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Every choice you make right now is what will shape your future. In this speech, we're going to talk about the next steps in your journey, the practical steps you can take today that will lead you to success. I'll show you how even the smallest action can be the turning point, how failure can become your greatest teacher, and how commitment to growth will keep you moving forward no matter what. So stop waiting. Today is your day. What you're about to hear is the roadmap to success, the path you must follow step by step to achieve what you want. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you took a step toward your goals? I don't mean a huge leap. I mean a small, simple action that got you closer to where you want to be. Let me tell you, success doesn't come from thinking about action. It comes from doing it. You have to start somewhere. It doesn't matter if the first step isn't perfect. What matters is that you take it. Here's the reality. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. The perfect moment doesn't exist. It's a myth. The longer you wait, the further away your dreams will get. You're not going to find success by thinking about it or planning it. You find success by taking action, even if it's just one small step. What's that one thing you can do today? What's that one concrete action that will get you closer to your goal? It could be as simple as writing down your plan, making that phone call, or doing some research. It doesn't matter how small it seems. Every action, no matter how imperfect, moves you forward. I want you to stop waiting for perfection. Stop waiting for the stars to align. The time to act is now. The decision you make today will shape the life you lead tomorrow. Every step you take today is a step closer to the future you want. Now, I want to talk about something crucial to your success. Growth. Success isn't just about what you do today, it's about what you're willing to do tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. Success is built on continuous growth. It's built on the willingness to learn, to adapt, and yes, to fail. Because let me tell you something, failure is not the enemy. Failure is the fuel. Most people avoid failure. They fear it. They think it's a sign that they're not cut out for success. But here's the truth. Failure is not a setback. It's a stepping stone. Every time you fail, you learn something valuable. Every time you stumble, you become stronger, smarter, more prepared for what comes next. Are you ready to turn your failures into the fuel that will propel you to success? Are you willing to embrace the tough days, the setbacks, the challenges, and keep going? Because that's what it takes. The road to success isn't easy, and it's not fast, but it's worth it. And the more committed you are to your own growth, the stronger you'll become. The only way to fail is to stop trying. Keep going, keep learning, keep growing, because that's where your true success lies. You're not just building a career or achieving a goal, you're building yourself. And when you commit to growth, there's nothing that can stop you. I want you to remember something today. Failure is not the enemy. Too often we see failure as a sign that we're not cut out for success, that we've reached the end of the line. But let me tell you something, failure is your greatest teacher. It's the feedback you need to grow, adapt, and move forward. Without it, there is no growth. Every mistake, every stumble, every setback, it's all part of the process. Every time you fall, you have a choice. You can let it define you, or you can use it as the foundation for your next step. Tony Robbins talks about overcoming failure in 4 simple steps. Change your perception, master your emotions, take massive action, and continually adapt. This formula is key. When you shift the way you look at failure, when you take control of your emotions, and when you keep taking action, no matter how small, that's when growth happens. Every setback is just a setup for something greater. It's not the end, it's the beginning of your next chapter. What if you started seeing failure as the first step to success, not the last? Now is the time to turn those failures into victories. You have everything you need to succeed, right inside of you. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the courage to take that first step. So stop waiting, stop thinking about it, stop waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is now. Every single day you delay is another day further from where you want to be. So take that step, no matter how small it may seem. Your success is inevitable, but only if you face failure head on. It's not a matter of if you'll succeed, it's a matter of when. And the key to success is learning from each failure, embracing every challenge and pushing forward even when it feels hard. Keep going, keep growing. Every setback is a lesson that brings you closer to your goals. Keep going, because you are closer than you think.